Allah, give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen. Grant us, Ya Allah, the eyes to see your light and show us, Ya Allah, what is wrong and what is right as we walk along your path. Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Mustaqim. Give me, Ya Allah, give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen. Help us, Ya Allah, spread this blessed deen, and help us, Ya Allah, help the Muslimin, and help us, Ya Allah, overcome the mushrikeen. Give me, Ya Allah, give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen. Make us, Ya Allah, fighters for your deen, and make us, Ya Allah, forever mu'mineen. And do this, Ya Allah, despite the kafirin. Give me, Ya Allah, give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen. Give me, Ya Allah, give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen.
Assalamu alaikum. Today we're going to discuss page number 16. I hope you have your folder and a paper and a pencil ready with you. Alright, okay, let's go. Arabic punctuations in Quran. Let me show you some punctuations on the board over here. Just like in English, there are punctuations. A period, comma, colon, dash, apostrophes, exclamation mark. Wow, so we got the punctuations in English language. If we did not have those within the sentences, most of the time we would not be able to make any sense out of it. Now, in Arabic, the punctuations we have are, that's a period, that is also period. These indicate the end of sentence. Not necessarily whatever is being said has been said, okay? But that is one of the sentences of the paragraph. I showed you some English punctuations before. Let's talk about Arabic punctuations. And I also showed you the Arabic punctuations, which is a period and a 5. Now these are the end of the sentence. Nonetheless, they are still punctuations. On top of that, that's comma, waqf lazim, meme, you must stop on that. Then we have a qaf, which is for a waqfa, which means pause, scene, sakta, which also means pause, but that's not as long. And the last one we have is a longer pause, which is a sakta. So what we have, whatever you see on the board right now, and whatever you see on the line 2 of your page 16 are the punctuation marks used in the Quran. Now these are the ones on which you must stop on these. You must stop. And you drop the last sound mark, which is a zabar zir pesh, but you do not drop any letters. If you see any other markings besides this, you just disregard those, and you don't need to pay attention to those. And these punctuations are necessary, just like I said before, because if they were not in there, the sentences would not make any sense. Now, for the Urdu speaking people, I'm going to say a sentence. Utho mat baitho. 3 words. If I stopped after utho, I would say utho mat baitho. So that means stand up, don't sit down. And if I shift the same comma from first word to the second, which is utho mat baitho, the meaning is totally opposite. So the punctuations and to follow the punctuations are very necessary in any language. So we need to follow those. Now, from here on I will discuss the sound marks. The sound marks are zabar, zer, pesh, do zabar, do zer, ulti pesh, zer, and a khadi zabar. Those are the sound marks. Just like in English we have A, E, I, O, U. They are the ones who determine how that word is going to sound. For example, there's the line. Zabar, zer, pesh, do zabar, do zer, do pesh. Now, even though there's 2 zabars and 2 zers and 2 peshes over here, but they make up one sound, an, one sound, in. So it is not but it is an. So 2 sound marks, they in fact are just one. So what you have is an, in, un, a, o. Okay, just like when you write an essay or a composition or a story or a book, you have to have paragraphs. In Quran, exactly the same. All the surahs are the essays or the letters from Allah to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But if they were all in continuity without the indication of a paragraph, they would just sound so monotonous and so continuous that sometime it would get boring. So Allah also has sent the message in the form of surahs, and then the surahs and the chapters, they have raku markings, which shows the end of a paragraph. And after the end of a paragraph, either a different subject is discussed or the same subject but a different aspect of the subject is discussed. Let me show you what the raku sign looks like and what do the markings in the raku sign mean. Raku, or end of the paragraph. This sign, raku, in fact is the last the last letter of the word raku, which is a paragraph. So they're using the same an over here to indicate the end of the paragraph. Now, you wonder what those numbers are in here. 5. That number is the end of the paragraph of the surah being read. The surah, okay, not the chapter, the surah. You got to remember that. Number 3, down here, is the number of the paragraph of the chapter being read. This is the number for the number of the paragraph of the surah. This is the paragraph number of the chapter. This number, 17, is the number of lines or the number of sentences or the number of verses in that paragraph. That is why they have that number in the raku sign. So that's what that is. Remember that. So what we have here, the raku, end of the paragraph. That is what that sign is. This is the paragraph of the surah, paragraph of the chapter, and the number of lines of the verses in that paragraph. there is one more notation in the Quran Majid, because see, whenever there is a sentence that comes down where the total submission to the will of Allah is shown, or the strength of belief, there are certain lines in the Quran where when a person reads them is supposed to bow down or make a prostration or a sajda. This shows total humility and submission to the will of Allah. Now, the Muslims do that. The kuffars did not used to do that when those lines were read in the Quran. So when a Muslim does it, you reaffirm and reassure your belief in Allah and His commandments. And yes, you give in and you accept whatever He is saying in the Quran. Let me show you what that sajda notation looks like, because while you're reading, there are certain words that are overlined, not underlined, overlined. When you get to the end of that verse, that is when you make a sajda. This is what the sajda notation looks like. That is al-sajda. It is indicated on the margin, which is down here. It is indicated down here as al-sajda. And also when you're reading a line, there are some words that have a line on top of them. So when you get to the end of that line, that is when you make the sajda. What you do is you go to the side, you make a sajda, and you say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la, minimum of 3 times, and then you just get up and start reading from there. You do not say Bismillah again, unless if you talk to somebody or you got up from your space to go somewhere. Otherwise, you just start reading as you were still reading and you did not make a sajda. So when you make a sajda, it is just like a continuity and the need to make a sajda at that point. So continue after that without Bismillah. When I'm reading a book, I would like to know when I have reached a quarter of the book or a half of the book or 3/4 of the book, but no other book tells you where you are. And Quran, it tells you even in every chapter how much you've read. So when you've read 1/4, you can be happy that you have only 3/4 left. When you get to the half, you're good to know that I have only half of chapter left to finish now. Same way with the 3/4 and then the beginning. On the board I'm going to show you those markings and those indications, and it's a lot easier for you to understand and know how far you have to go to finish a chapter. For example, a chapter has 28 pages to it. You've read 1/4, and you see that marking of Ar-Rabah, you know that you've read 1/4 of it, which is 7 pages, and so on. Let me show you how it's written in the Quran. Okay. Al-Juz, which means the para or the chapter. It has a number with it, and it would indicate like chapter number 2 or chapter number 2. So that is the beginning of the chapter. This marking indicates the beginning of the chapter, and also shows you the number, where it tells you what chapter number you've just started. Now you keep reading, and by the time you get to 6th or 7th page, you will see, besides the marking for the paragraph, this is not the marking for the paragraph. This is the marking of the 1/4 of the chapter. So you've already read 1/4 of the chapter, or whichever, the one you have just started. Next marking you're going to see after Al-Rabah is An-Nisf, 1/2. You already read 1/2 of the chapter now. Al-Salasa, 3/4 of the chapter. So if you read 3/4, that leaves 1/4. So you're 1/4 away from finishing the chapter. So what we have here, other than the Raku marking, we have these markings which show us Al-Juz, what chapter number are we on? Al-Rabah, 1/4 we've already read. 1/Nisf, 1/2 of the chapter we've read. Al-Salasa, 3/4 of the chapter we have read. What happens after that? End up with the next juz. Next chapter begins. And that's the way you keep going back and forth, and you know as to when you have finished the page, or finished the chapter, or finished the paragraph, and this is the way the markings in the Quran work. Let me summarize this again for you one time, okay? Just a little bit. Zabar, Zayd, Pesh, and all those are the sound marks. And the Seen, Sakta, the circle, Toy, and all that are the punctuation marks. And then you have the Raku sign, and the numbers in the Raku, what they mean, and also the Sajda. What is Sajda, when you make that, and also what are the markings of the chapters in the Quran, the beginning, ending, half, and the 3/4. I hope you learned something from this page. وما علينا إلا البلاغ. السلام عليكم.
Give me iman and victory. Give me, Ya Allah, give me strength to set us free as we struggle on your path, Mujahideen. Grant us, Ya Allah, the eyes to see your light and show us, Ya Allah, what is wrong and what is right as we walk along your path. Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Mustaqim.